I want to talk about our assessment practices that will be happening in eighth grade language arts this year. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because this is something that is not only different, you may not have experienced a lot of this type of thinking before. It's also going to be a new routine that we're going to have to embody throughout our year. And it kind of goes against some of the practices that you're used to maybe in some of your other classes. So it requires a little bit more facilitation or help on my part to help you kind of understand why our assessment practices actually matter and why they're different. So the first thing I want to talk about is the idea of traditional grades. And traditional grades are something that you're definitely used to. It's the 87% B written at the top of your paper of whatever homework assignment, quiz, test, project that you would have received. And we're used to that when it comes to grading. But if you really think about that 87% B on the top of your paper, what does that really tell us? It tells us that you can do something in a B range overall according to the judgment of your teacher. But it doesn't really tell us exactly specifically the things that you know and you can demonstrate. So if you think back to understanding our learning standards, we have things like citing evidence or uh, understanding plot or understanding setting, um, or writing with transition words. When we have an 87% B on the top of our paper, it doesn't really communicate what specifically we can and can't do. So one of the things that's going to be really different for us throughout our year is the idea of it's not necessarily going to be called grading in this classroom, is that it's going to be called assessment. So I'm sure you can probably understand what would really help you in your learning process. Looking at an 87% B on the top of a paper, or me sitting next to you giving you quality feedback to know specifically how to make those revisions, praising you on the things that you've done very specifically well and the standards that you have achieved or you've met, and knowing how to take those strengths and areas of improvement and push you further in your learning. We work better with feedback and revision. I'm going to use the video game example again. You learn from failure, you learn from revision. So revision is a big thing in here, and especially as readers and writers, if we think about those things, we have to be people of revision as we continue to master that craft. Going back to our mindset discussion, mindset really matters, because if you're the person that just turns in one piece of writing and you don't want to take any of the revision pieces, you don't want to take any of the feedback, you don't want to improve upon yourself in the learning process, improve your learning standards, you're not going to do very well on your assessments, as you can well probably understand. That's pretty simple. So having the right mindset to be in the mindset of it's okay to fail, but it's okay to take risks. It's okay to try again. It's okay to take something and have revisions, taking those revisions and doing again, possibly again and again. Okay, given the nature of whatever assignment, project, purpose that we are working on in class. In addition to that assessment mindset, there's also the idea of how we still have to post grades. So there is a posting of letter grades in our class, but I believe that the learning journey is yours, and I'm just along for the ride as I help facilitate your thinking. Learning should be on you. So if learning is your journey, how come you don't have a say in your assessment process? So in this class that you do, you're going to have a chance to do some self-reflection on the learning that you're going to be doing in this class. And then also you're going to have to be talking about what grades that you would propose for yourself in both reading and writing based on the standards that we cover in each unit throughout each quarter. So you may not necessarily see numbers or letter grades continuously being threaded on Skyward or in the gradebook. we'll talk about how the logistics of what this is going to look like and what tools we're going to use to track our progress. But just know that this is something this is a partnership between myself as well as you. You have to have a say in this process. So one of the things is we're trying to get to know you throughout this unit. We're trying to get to know you. We're trying to get to know you as a learner. And we're also trying to learn the standards so that you can build your toolbox up so that you can have those discussions. You know, you can be equipped to having the discussion based on the areas that you want to set goals for yourself, and based on the areas that you know that you feel pretty confident and are masterful of those different standards. There's nothing more painful than doing what I like to call time suckage. No teacher should take time away from you and your learning process if you already know that mastered the concept. Okay, so our assessment practices are going to look very different because they are more personalized. And although it may be very new and very different at the beginning, I just need you to promise that you can have a little faith and a little trust in me to walk you through this process and how it's going to look throughout this year, because this is going to be a big theme in what we do from now until the end.